afternoon from one of the finest stadiums in the country. Where better to put on a show than at Hillsborough? A show in the snow today. It's Sheffield Wednesday against Spurs.
The team that Tell built is fighting back. It's become a question of character. But no questioning their principles. They're without doubt all compromise. Spurs are attempting to play their way out of trouble. Now that takes a special brand of courage.
Stewart taking the ball off. Paul Stewart. Terrific play.
Stewart's strength. The mercurial waddle. Walsh's trickery. And the lovable, irrepressible Gaza. But is it to be or not to be? It's a time for answers, not questions.
Well, I'm sure Terry Venables will have issued a word or two of caution to his players as well in the build-up to the match today. I mean, you wouldn't choose to play against the likes of Sheffield Wednesday every week. What they lack in finesse, they certainly make up for in fitness and endeavour. And how on earth do you prepare tactically against a side whose leading scorer is a fullback, the Wednesday captain Mel Sterland, who won his first cap for England during the week?
It's been a great week playing for England in Saudi Arabia, getting my first cap, and then coming back home and waking up this morning. I just couldn't believe it when I opened the curtains, and there is old snow. Just run ground up and to make sure the game are on, but apparently the ground staff's been working quite well, and lads are looking forward to getting out there and playing against Tottenham.
And it has to be said that Mel Sterland and his teammates are a lot happier with the conditions here at Hillsborough this afternoon than the visiting Spurs. Well, our commentary team today is the former Spurs manager, David Pleat, and Brian Moore.
Thank you, Elton. Let's first of all meet the two teams, starting with Sheffield Wednesday with Chris Turner in goal. Number 2 is Mel Sterland, New England cap, as we know. Number 3 is Nigel Worthington. 4 is Ian Cranson, formerly of Ipswich Town. 5 is Nigel Pearson. 6, Laurie Madden. 7, Siggy Johnson, the Icelandic international. He's in because the long-serving Gary Migson's been left out of this game. Number 8 is Mark Proctor. 9, Colin West. Number 10, David Reeves, 21 years old yesterday. And number 11, David Hodgson, with the Wednesday substitutes, David Hurst and Tony Gregory. As for Spurs, with Bobby Mims in goal, number 2, Guy Butters, just 19 years old, his first start in the First Division. Came on as a sub against Blackburn in the Littlewoods Cup and against Wimbledon last week in the league. Number 3 is Mitchell Thomas. 4 is Terry Fenwick. 5, Chris Fairclough. 6, Gary Mabbott. 7, young Paul Moran. 8, yes, Paul Gascoigne, the £2 million man. 9, Chris Waddle. 10 is Paul Stewart, the £1.7 million player for Manchester City. And 11 is Vinnie Samways, with the Tottenham substitutes Paul Allen and David Howells. Referee today is Roger Milford from Bristol. And indeed, as Elton mentioned to you, the visitors none too happy with the conditions. In fact, Spurs were very upset that the snow had not been cleared. And they just have a fear that on this bitterly cold afternoon, that it might just ice up a little later on. The sad thing from Sheffield Wednesday's point of view is beneath that snow is arguably the best pitch in the whole of the Football League. With me, David Pleat. David, what do you feel and how do you see this one going?
Well, I should be interested to see how the Tottenham back players approach the game. It looks as though Fairclough's going to play wide right defensively and young Butters land up in the middle. And they've both got the safety valves as sweepers or covering defenders. Fenwick for Tottenham and Cranston for Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, Spurs in the all-yellow strip will get this game underway. Sheffield Wednesday in their usual blue and white shirts and blue shorts. Testing time for Tottenham. 2 victories behind them at Blackburn and at home to Wimbledon, and needing something here to build on, and hitting a corner in the opening seconds. Ian Cranson putting it away. There's that headband to cover up some scar tissue. Big strong defender, and he's had 1 or 2 knocks there around the left eye. Spurs yet to win away in the league this season. They've only had 2 victories at home in the league. Here's Gascoigne. Moran having his shot charged down by Laurie Madden. It'll take a little while for the players to sort themselves out on this very difficult pitch on this bitterly cold afternoon. There's a jump by Mabbott and a clearance by Pearson. Colin West going for it. Mabbott again, heavily involved. And a foul by Hodgson, a free kick to Tottenham. I suppose, in fact, did the double over Wednesday last season, which is maybe a good omen for them. They came here under Terry Venables and won 3-0, having beaten Wednesday 2-0 at White Hart Lane. Waddle with that kick, turned on again. Cranston getting it away once more for Sheffield Wednesday. Gascoigne shoved off the ball there by Hodgson, and Roger Milford giving the free kick to the visitors. Well, if there's any southern softness in the Spurs side, it'll certainly be found out in these very bleak conditions up here in Yorkshire. There are a few northern people in the Tottenham side. Gascoigne, Fenwick from County Durham, Paul Stewart, Bobby Mims, a goalkeeper, a Yorkshire lad, of course. Fenwick then with the free kick for Tottenham. Worthington beaten in the air there, and it needed Mark Proctor to get it away for Sheffield Wednesday. The chase is on. Waddle will get there first, under a lot of pressure though from David Reeves.
When Waddle rolled that back there to Mims, would do in the circumstances, I didn't think it took a fast roll, and players will have to be very careful not to under-hit parters.
Mims with the clearance. Mitchell Thomas with the header. Pearson away for Sheffield Wednesday. Here's Fenwick sweeping at the back for Tottenham. Samways. Fenwick again, lifting it forward towards Moran. Fairclough. Gascoigne. Samways. Now Fairclough again in there. Once again it's Cranston up. And a foul on Siggy Johnson. Free kick already taken. David Reeves now. Worthington. Reeves again. Couldn't collect. Fairclough. Waddle. Sweeping ball towards Stewart, who's got Moran, who's quick also in the middle. And it's a corner for Tottenham. Sheffield Wednesday saved there by Mel Sterland. Waddle will take it. Big Guy Butters, the 19-year-old's up at the near post. Just got a glimpse of him, the number 2 getting into the picture there at the near post. Mabbott's up there. Mitchell Thomas, another 6-footer up there for Tottenham. Waddle then with this corner. Finding Gascoigne. Butters knocking it up. Mitchell Thomas looking to get it back. And Worthington putting it back to Chris Turner. Gascoigne's header. Owned by Cranston. Hodgson to Johnson. Sterland. Gascoigne. Waddle. Bit of space ahead of him. Stewart's up alongside him as well. Moran's made a good move as well, Paul Stewart. And, well, the challenge on Chris Turner has upset the Sheffield Wednesday players, and the referee wants a word with Paul Stewart. And Turner looks to be in trouble, and it's going to be a yellow card. David Pleat.
They definitely caught him, there's no question about that. I was fascinated to see Waddle there coming off deep and causing all sorts of problems with a shrewd ball forward, and just previous to that, when Cranston made an indiscretionally tight challenge, they got through as well. So they're going to have to get tight on Waddle.
Well, it's trouble for Paul Stewart, and trouble for our slow motion machine as well. And while this is happening, the goalkeeper, Chris Turner, is still down. Let's have a look at it from this angle. Turner goes for it. Yes, and it looked very much as though the boot stayed in there by Paul Stewart. And Sheffield Wednesday could have problems here. plucky character with a lot of experience. This is his second spell at Hillsborough, separated by 9 years in which he played for Sunderland and, of course, more recently for Manchester United. The right shoulder's been a problem, but Chris Turner prepared to go on. Butters with a header, won by Stewart. Knocked away by Laurie Madden. And Guy Butters getting it forward again. Waddle will chase it. And Turner risking getting a back pass from that sort of range. Mabbott. Thomas, Gascoigne, delightful ball. Mabbott taking it on. Stewart. Spurs beginning to put a few things together in these opening minutes. Stopped there, though, by Ian Cranston. West, but Guy Butters sticking close, tried to get the ball through to Stewart. In went Cranston, and a throw to Tottenham. Madden away, Butters again. Spurs badly looking for success under Terry Venables, but in 34 league matches since he arrived about a year ago, won only 8. And only 2 this season in the league. Offside flag is up. For all the problems there might be for Terry Venables at Tottenham, the great thing is he stands by his belief that the game should be played with style and skill, and whatever the results, he will not desert those beliefs. Stewart backing into Cranston there, it seemed to me, but he got away with it. Then loses it to Siggy Johnson, gets it back from West. Johnson now leading it for Sheffield Wednesday, joined by Proctor. Away on the left is Reeves. Worthington going up outside him. Here's Worthington. Madden playing it in first time. Samways collecting for Spurs. And now Waddle. Handshake between Gascoigne and Johnson. I think they're going to change the ball to an orange one. Terry Fenwick not happy about that for some reason. And I have to say, if the first few flutters of snow beginning to arrive again in this part of Yorkshire. And the sky is looking very black indeed, way beyond that far stand. Stewart going for this one. Might come for Moran. Again, Pearson getting it away. But certainly, Spurs have dominated this opening 10 minutes. Wednesday have hardly got into the Tottenham half. Gascoigne. Will this be another corner? No, I think Proctor will save it this time. Just.
Wednesday desperately need to put some passes together. At the moment, Tottenham have played the consecutive passing and Tottenham have got into their rhythm much quicker, whereas when Wednesday have got the ball at the back, they've tended to hit the long one and it's a chasing game up front. But they need some contact from back to front.
Johnson playing it forward now for Hodgson. Samways, Gascoigne. Moran up ahead. Worrell. Samways couldn't keep his feet properly, or at least his balance. Nigel Pearson bringing it out for Sheffield Wednesday. A long ball forwards. Butters falls now for Worthington. Reeves on the far side. And Sterling going in, falls in the box, nothing given. And Mitchell Thomas dragging it away now for Tottenham. Waddle. Moran trying to slip away from Cranston. Thomas again for Tottenham, 0-0. With just over 11 minutes of the game gone. Swift challenge that time by Sterling. Tottenham's throw. Sheffield folk have decided, no doubt, to stay at home and sit on TV. Capacity here is 54,000, the third biggest stadium in the country, behind Arsenal and Manchester United. Hansen with the header away. Now David Reeves. Somebody who's decided not to stay at home but is here to watch it is the England manager Bobby Robson. Now Hodgson breaking clear, the flag stayed down. The centre was charged away by Butters, giving Sheffield Wednesday their first corner of the game. And a first real test now for the Tottenham defence. I noticed on the training ground this week, Peter Eustace, the Sheffield Wednesday manager, concentrated so much on putting, I suppose, Bobby Mims in particular under pressure, and told his players, take your time with free kicks and corners here, make sure the ball is served inaccurately and cause problems. Well, that wasn't quite accurate enough. Worthington crosses it in again. Hansen's in there too. West was in there too, and Reeves couldn't get a look at the ball. And that will fall for Mitchell Thomas. To Gascoigne. Referee's got to allow certain discretion as players try to keep their balance on this surface. Stewart, Chris Fairclough going forward for Tottenham. And the challenge came in from Nigel Pearson. Tottenham's throw. Formerly with Shrewsbury. Misfortune to break an ankle last April, but he's fully fit and playing a big part at the back for Sheffield Wednesday these days. Waddle. Madden. West. Lost out to Fairclough. No. Unfair challenge by the Tottenham defender. A free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Reeves, out of play. Winter truly has arrived here. You can imagine how people like Gascoigne and Waddle and Sterling feel, having been in temperatures well into the 70s in Saudi Arabia in midweek. There's Gascoigne, bring it forward towards Paul Moran. Corner given. Moran, you may remember in a live game we had Derby County against Spurs last season when he came on as a substitute and completely turned that game for Tottenham. Really made his mark that day. Very pacey young player. But it's Waddle now with the corner then for Tottenham. Butters again at the near post. Mitchell Thomas is in there as well, looking for the flick on. And they would also seek to put Chris Turner, who's lost his boot at the moment, under pressure. He's not the biggest of goalkeepers at 5'10½". Plenty of bodies in that 6-yard area. Standing room only, really. Butters getting there with the header, but not quite the right sort of flick on, and a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday.
there's a contrast in how the two teams look with the corners, actually. Sheffield Wednesday are marking areas, whereas Tottenham are marking men. It'll be fascinating to see how they cope with this, because in the Piccadilly Circus state of penalty areas at corner kicks, it's most difficult for goalkeepers to get amongst the bodies.
Some ways. Quickly in was Proctor for Sheffield Wednesday. Now Hodgson. Worthington. Johnson. I suspect the Icelandic player might feel more at home here than anybody. It came off David Hodgson. It'll be a Tottenham throw. Stewart beaten by Madden. Waddle. Samways. By Butters. Lad from Hillingdon. Played for Middlesex schools and only was made upgraded to a pro this last summer. Stewart getting the ball through to Moran. Samways. Again it's Moran. Hansen again getting there, the ball just clipping off the Tottenham youngster, so it'll be a goal kick.
With Stewart and Moran playing up front for Tottenham and Waddle dropping into this space behind, it's a little bit difficult at times for Sheffield Wednesday to pick him up. What they've done so far is they've alternated. Johnson's picked him up, and on a couple of other occasions Worthington's picked him up when the play's on the opposite side of the field.
Gascoigne. Oh, a slip there by Pearson, but it falls for Madden. Fenwick, last defender, back to Bobby Mims. Scored an own goal here last season. Terry Fenwick playing for Queen's Park Rangers. Cranston going in. Doesn't worry about flying boots to Cranston. Now Mitchell Thomas. Madden there first for Wednesday. The foul was by Stewart. It'll be a free kick again to Wednesday. 2-0 for the game, having a word with the Tottenham number 10. So here we are with about 18 minutes gone, 0-0. Mabbott. Moran. Cranston's after him. Samways. At the moment, David, you would feel that Spurs were the home side, wouldn't you?
I was just thinking Fenwick could take a deck chair out with him and sit on it there. He's completely free at the back there. Any long balls that are played forward, he's in space there to pick them up. And so far, there's no problems been posed by Wednesday.
Pearson bringing it away. Finding Proctor. Away on the right is Sterland. That's what the Wednesday fans want to see. Mel Sterland in full flight. He's got Reeves outside him. Fenwick stopped him. Abbott versus Reeves. Johnson. Worthington onto the left foot. West was in there. And four Spurs defenders lining up there to get that one away. It was Fenwick who made the clearance, in fact. Gascoigne. Swift challenge by Mabbott. Mitchell Thomas is furthest forward now for Tottenham. Cranston now finding Pearson. Looks not such a good record. Spurs winning only 6 in 37 visits here, but I have to tell you that 5 of those victories have come on their last 7 occasions here. So at the moment, it's always been a pretty, or at least of late, it's been a pretty happy hunting ground for the London side. Now Siggy Johnson. Reeves. Johnson. Waddle. Sterland is down, injured at the moment. Waddle going on, and the gap. Will Stewart get there? No. Turner's there. In fact, he brought the ball outside the area, but the flag had gone up in any case for an offside against Paul Stewart. And a chance for Mill Sterling to get some treatment on the far side of this icy pitch. First Wednesday player to play for England since Ron Springett 22 years ago. And Ron Springett, in fact, won more caps than any other Sheffield Wednesday player for England. 43. It's the right ankle that's a problem for Mel Sterland, who's the, as Elton Wellesley was saying, the top scorer for Sheffield Wednesday. Interesting also that the top scorer for Tottenham's a defender as well. Terry Fenwick with 7. 5 of those there come from the penalty spot. You can see how bleak it is here now. There are the Wednesday players who have played for England: Ron Springett, Peter Swan, Jackie Sewell, Albert Pixel, of course, who played for Manchester United as well, Redfern Froggatt, Johnny Phantom, Jerry Young, and Mel Sterling. Well, Mel Sterling, as you can see on the ball at the moment, is okay again. Wellington.
During that brief break when Sterling went down injured, Peter Eustace came very quickly to the line and had a word with Worthington. I'm sure he'd be discussing how they can get some width in the play.
Hodgson to Proctor. Johnson now to Sterling. Might try something from a long way out, and the first bit of work that Bobby Mims has had to do. Stewart. Abbott, Samways, won by Johnson, and now Proctor. But Gascoigne is back. Franson. Again by Reeves, touched by Hodgson. Here's Pearson. Wellington. Madden. Check there a bit. West might come for Reeves. West is waiting in the middle. Colin West. Oh, stopped by Mabbott. It's the first time the alarm bells have begun to ring in that Tottenham defence, and here's Guy Butters now leading the charge away for Tottenham. Samways, Butters, Franson again in quickly. Up gets Moran though. Franson once again. Again the referee allows it to go on. Proctor. Now Gascoigne for Tottenham. Moran. Richard Thomas away on the left for him. Samways here. And now Thomas. And he teased a mistake out of Sterling. Change of direction there by Samways. Now Waddle with a shot. Charged down by Johnson. Gets it through to Colin West. Nice reverse ball now for Hodgson, and Reeves going up outside him. Hodgson, Worthington, Reeves, stopped by Gascoigne. Fairclough. Madden in quickly. Waddle. Thomas on the far side, cut out well for Sheffield Wednesday by Mel Sterling. Hodgson might get there, Butters holding him off. Oh, the young player did well. at the expense of a corner. David?
Well, once or twice the players have just lost their foothold when they're about to deliver the ball, and there's a little bit of uncertainty in the passing, and it's partly to do with this pitch. There's no question about that.
Nigel Worthington then with the corner for Sheffield Wednesday. By Siggy Johnson. Chris Waddle with a chance of getting it away. Moran. Pearson. Roberts. Worthington. Gascoigne's after him. Gascoigne's getting through a lot of work here this afternoon. Reeves. Johnson. Oh, a bit of space here for Hodgson. The flag was up though. There couldn't have been much in it. And Wednesday seemed to be working a good move down that left flank towards David Hodgson. Certainly up the tempo a little bit Wednesday now, haven't they, since Peter Eustace came down and had a word from the bench.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of subtlety there from Johnson. I would like to see him work the ball.
That looked a very debatable offside from that camera on the 18-yard line, I must say. Stewart. And now Waddle on the far side for Tottenham. Played back for Gascoigne. Samways. In goes West. Squelches away there now for Reeves. Now Worthington. Played in for Hodgson. Battling though with Fairclough. Fairclough gets it back.
Fairclough is literally Hodgson's minder at the moment, and I don't think he's played too often in the wide rightish defensive position, and part of his duties this afternoon will be to break on and support as much as possible.
Branson versus Stewart. Onto the chest of Stewart. Back for Gascoigne. Here's Waddle. That free roll of his now away on the left-hand side. Gathering a bit of pace. Plays the ball in. Moran was in there waiting for it. A valuable clearance though by Pearson. Mitchell Thomas with a chance of turning it in again for Tottenham. And Proctor gets it away. Up goes Butters. Moran got in behind them. Stewart's waiting in the middle. Johnson now to Worthington. And that clear Fairclough. Hodgson was behind him. Fairclough judged it well. Waddle now for Tottenham. Sterland readjusted well. But still, the clearance comes to Chris Waddle. Well, if you had arrived not knowing any of Spurs' troubles this season, you would be astonished that they've won only 2 league games and are only one off the bottom of the First Division. Playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. Those 2 wins obviously have done them the power of good. The Littleboots Cup victory at Blackburn and the victory at White Hart Lane last week against Wimbledon. Looking more like a side.
Certainly the more composed side, but at the end of the day they haven't been productive in terms of shots at goal. And they have room to play. The Sheffield Wednesday back four is sitting reasonably deep, and same as the Tottenham, so there's space in midfield for people like Gascoigne and Waddle to work their cleverness.
Jump by West. Hodgson battling away, Gascoigne in there. Like Paul Gascoigne. Terry Venables was saying in the week that the second half, particularly against Wimbledon last week, David, when they won the game, it was almost as though they'd thrown off the shackles and begun at last to play some relaxed football. So much of it in the mind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a confidence game, football, and the more results you get, the more people begin to believe in themselves, and the more people around the club begin to believe in themselves.
Samways looking for Moran. This time a foul by Paul Moran. It'll be a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Still only 20 years old. As you can see, limited experience with his 20th league game being played today. Waddle. Moran's inside. Stewart has drawn away well. Murray Madden with him. And Sheffield Wednesday get the throw. Stewart stopped again by Madden. Tottenham's throw, leaving it to Vinnie Samways. Not sure whether he possesses the long throw or not. In any case, Waddle is coming closer to him and go to his Fairclough. Difficult ball to get a grip on, I would have thought, for a long throw today. In any case, Waddle now with the cross, curled in well, and just missing the head of Paul Stewart. It was a great cross in, and Turner in fact had stayed on his line, and Stewart so close to getting it.
That was the cross that most goalkeepers dread, actually, the merest of touches and it produces a goal, and no one can deliver them in this country better than Waddle with either foot.
And look how close Stewart was to getting that vital touch. Now Colin West. Sterland. Hodgson. Tottenham's throw. Returned by Hodgson. And he's got past his man. Cross comes in towards Reeves. I feel he should have done a little better with him, that. The lad who was 21 yesterday. He's a good natural goal scorer. He's been on loan in the lower divisions. He's always scored. He got there first with a header. David?
That was a perfect cross. He got away from his marker and Fenwick was caught in no man's land, and for sure he will be a little bit annoyed with himself. Chances have been few and far between, and that certainly was a half chance.
Scored the winner for Wednesday in the match at Southampton. In fact, in the periods on loan with Scunthorpe and Burnley, he was always scoring goals. Some 14 in 26 games. Here's Waddle now. This really could be opening up. He's got Gascoigne ahead of it. Stewart darting in there as well, and Mitchell Thomas on the far side. Yellow shirts are up in force, though. Here's Waddle. That's no good, though. Could be a goal kick.
Saw the best and the worst of Waddle there in a few seconds. He took it brilliantly, got away from midfield so quickly. The Sheffield Wednesday players couldn't catch him, and one would have thought there might have been a more decisive pass on into the area, and he's played Mitchell Thomas, the wider ball, the lesser option, and when he's got it back, he's gone and played a rather laborious cross.
Free kick to Tottenham. Samways looking over it, leaving it for Terry Fenwick. Stewart and Mitchell Thomas up there, and it nearly fell for Moran. From this angle, it's hard to see whether that's a corner or a throw. It's It's a throw for Tottenham, which Paul Gascoigne will take. Samways. Butters. Samways again, sweeping it wide, but too far ahead of Mitchell Thomas, who suddenly popped up on this side of the field. West. Gascoigne. Taken from behind, though, by Colin West, who claims he got the ball, but referee Milford not interested in that. He's given the free kick to Tottenham with about 8 minutes to go to the half-time interval. 4 in the wall, I think we are saying that Chris Turner wants. The score 0-0 still. And if Chris Waddle can tee this one up, which he's doing. Waddle and Gascoigne behind it. Tony Samways making, as it were, the first little wall just to hide from Sheffield Wednesday what their plan is, but referee Milford not allowing him to do that. He's there. See, just ahead of the ball. Is it Gascoigne or is it Waddle? It's Waddle. Hits it straight at the Sheffield Wednesday wall, and it bounces behind for the corner. Waddle will take it. Stewart wants it. Mavett, who's a good jumper at the ball, is in there too. It's a very deep one towards Butters. The keeper was struggling a little bit there. Johnson got it away only as far as Fenwick. Fenwick again. Pearson to Johnson. To Reeves, to Hodgson. Another play. Tottenham's throw. Spurs have got a game coming up at White Hart Lane on Wednesday night against Coventry City, and Sheffield Wednesday that same night go to Old Trafford to play Manchester United. Pearson shaking off Gascoigne, finding Worthington. Interception there by Fairclough. He seemed to shove Moran out of the way, kept it in play. Here's Waddle. Fenwick. Oh, Fairclough looking to get in behind. Some good work at the back, though, for Sheffield Wednesday by Nigel Worthington. Oh, there's a good break on. Johnson, he's got Reeves and he's got West up ahead of him. He's got Sterling steaming down the right. And a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday, the foul by Terry Fenwick.
I thought the Tottenham players recovered very well there after Fairclough got caught down in this wide right position. The sense of team responsibility was terrific. They got back behind the ball very, very well.
Sterling's cross towards David Reeves, knocked on by him towards Colin West. Behind for the goalkeeper. Colin West yet to score this season. Good flick on there by David Reeves. West's header just watched wide by Bobby Morris. Five minutes to go to the interval. 0-0 the score. A throw to Tottenham. And a free kick for Val on Moran. It's a real two-tone pitch, isn't it, with that snow there. Gascoigne making a clearance so that he can place the ball, and then the green that penalty area, straight into the arms of Chris Turner. Now by Waddle, and Reeves, free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Under their new manager, Peter Eustace, with, of course, Howard Wilkinson having done a good job here and moved on now to Leeds United. Quite a good little run. They've lost only one of their last 6. Here's David Reeves. Siggy Johnson now. We go through a lot. Proctor. Wednesday's throw coming towards half-time. They're going to put a bit of pressure on now. Sterland wiping the ball on that Wednesday shirt to get a bit of purchase on it, plays it short nonetheless to Siggy Johnson. Sterland. Hodgson. Plays it short for Waddle. And whacked away clear as far as Ian Cranston. Well, he looked as though he was going to lose touch. Stewart seeking to get past him, and then Cranston virtually rugby tackling the Tottenham front man. The referee wave play on, and Proctor in the end gets the ball clear. West. Sterling. Stopped by Butters. A mistake there by Mitchell Thomas. Could be costly. In the end, Spurs get it away, and it's Waddle with Gascoigne away on the left for him. Stewart and Moran up front. Pearson for Wednesday. West. Gascoigne, the most arrogant little flick with the outside of the boot to Samways. And back to Williams. A trouble-free afternoon. Born in York, played his early league football just down the road of Rotherham. Bobby Mims. Fennick away, met by Cranston. And very nearly got Reeves away on a run. Up goes Sterling and wins that one. In goes Hodgson. Butters making the clearance for Tottenham towards Paul Stewart. Inside for Moran. Stopped by Cranston. Done a very good steady job at the back for Sheffield Wednesday this afternoon. Free kick for the foul on Neil Sterland.
It's so difficult to run with the ball in these conditions. Moran thought then that he might be able to guide his way through the back four, but it's very difficult. The ball is holding in the snow, and really it's got to be fast early passing.
Wellington. Hodgson. The strength of Fairclough took him through. Well, Wellington did well. Hodgson's pass was a poor one. Fennick's there. Stewart's little header. Johnson to Pearson. We're right on half-time now. Samways. Fennick. And back to Mims. Your thoughts on the first half as we come towards the interval, David?
Difficult for the players, I must say that firstly. Tottenham look as though they've got a little bit more guile, but they've got to pick the right alternatives when they get into the last third of the field. Wednesday's game is based on the longer ball, the chasing game, and they've got to get support quicker. I think if Wednesday did get forward and got balls into the box and tried to get more men in the box, they could cause Tottenham problems.
Meantime, it's a free kick to be taken by Nigel Worthington. And there goes the half-time whistle. No goals, but plenty of goals scattered around the First Division yesterday, and as usual, of course, you'll see them all in our half-time sequence. Here at a very wintry Hillsborough, the half-time score is Sheffield Wednesday 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Welcome back. It's See For Yourself time, the action that provided all this morning's headlines. We've got the boob of the day, that was from Old Trafford. The most controversial decision of the day, that was at Goodison Park, and unquestionably the goal of the day, that was at Highbury. The goals total in the First Division yesterday, 24. Jim Rosenthal's going to start us off with the league leaders Norwich, away to Everton.
The leaders, Norwich City, looked a very good side at Goodison Park and took the lead after 61 minutes. Dale Gordon, who's having such a good season down the right flank with the perfect cross, and Malcolm Allen with the header. Coming up now, one of the most controversial incidents of the weekend, involving a tackle here by Trevor Putney on Ian Snowden. No appeals from the Everton players, but referee John Penrose says that is a penalty. And looking at it again, I think Norwich are just going to have to content themselves that these things tend to even themselves out over a season. Trevor Stephen, unruffled, a 1-1 draw. Norwich's 100% record has gone, but they're still unbeaten away from home.
The Christians might have fared better than Newcastle against these hungry Lions. The Geordies held out for 25 minutes before Alan McCleary blasted in number 1. Well, with Newcastle having lost 5 on the run, you could describe this as the day's home banker. Terry Hurlock's deflected shot for number 2. Tony Cascarino got his 10th of the season, the first of 2 particularly well-taken goals in the second half. Millwall's unbeaten home record was never threatened. The other went to Kevin O'Callaghan, who pushed off Newcastle, who haven't even scored in 6 of their last 7 games. Millwall 4-0. Maybe Newcastle are saving it all up for the match next week.
Arsenal turned it on with their best home performance of the season. Paul Merson started the onslaught. He could save Arsenal a fortune this morning. They're reported to be prepared to pay £1 million for Leicester's Mike Newell. Here's number 2 for the 20-year-old Merson, in for the rebound off Pallister. And coming up now, the individual goal of the weekend, and surely one of the individual goals of the season. Just sit back and admire David Rocastle. 3-0 to Arsenal. No stopping Rocky or Arsenal at the moment.
At Old Trafford, Southampton's Graham Baker from 40 yards, but you don't beat Scotland's number 1 from there, Graham. Very often. Southampton 1-0, 6 minutes. New signing Maldonaghy's free kick. Now, here's a good bit of refereeing. Play on after an obvious foul on Hughes. Captain Robson leading by example. It makes you wonder what United would do without him. Now, United took the lead. Brian McClare through for Mark Hughes. Now, surely goalkeeper John Burridge must arrive soon. John, what happened? Well, now United are really in trouble. You see, they've got this habit of squandering the lead. And proving there's only one Matthew Letitia, the Jersey-born player, with his 3rd in 2 games. United's 6th draw in 7.
Liverpool always enjoyed themselves on the plastic at Loftus Road. They did pretty well on the present ploughed field as well. Just 1 goal in it. It came midway through the first half. Ian Rush creating it. John Aldridge with his 8th of the season. Liverpool's 4th away win. Despite all their injuries, they're right in the hunt.
Aston Villa had won 5 on the run at home in all competitions. They went in front with a needed header by Derek Mounfield, but that's all Derby allowed them. They've the best defensive record in the division. They hit back through Dean Saunders, inevitably 5 in 4 league games for Dino, and never on the losing side with Derby. Beautiful header.
Well, 2 minutes later, Villa's Kevin Gage tried a Steve Bowl flick on. Not really the time or the place, Kevin. Paul Goddard's determination did the rest. Derby's second away win.
West Ham have big problems, the worst defensive record in the First Division, and their problems very apparent at Luton. Luton 1 up, Kingsley Black, 18 minutes gone. 2 in 2 minutes, in fact, for the home team. And just look at the space given here for David Oldfield. They turned down $500,000 for him in the week. And Oldfield sets up a tap-in for Roy Wegerle. The game really over by half-time. And it's Oldfield again, the creator. West Ham just unable to get the ball away, and a thunderous finish from Kingsley Black. Some joy for West Ham, provided by Alvin Martin, now back in the side once again. But Luton doubling their home league tally with the 4th goal from the Irish international Danny Wilson. And once again, you just got to look at the West Ham defence and wince.
The big London derby, the only London derby, saw Wimbledon fall behind, totally confused by Charlton's long ball game. Robert Lee, the scorer, just after half-time. Fash the Bash wasn't expected to play. He hadn't scored for 7 games, but he was on the end of the move that provided Wimbledon with a point. Their 5th home league goal of the season, the worst record of its type in Division 1. Well, 24 goals there, 1 or 2 to get you talking in the pubs and the clubs tonight. No goals here at Hillsborough this afternoon, but there have been 3 in the FA Cup this afternoon. That's at Bristol. They beat Fisher Athletic by 3-0. Goals by Jones, Penrith, and a Holloway penalty. FA Cup first round result there for you, a match which kicked off at 2 o'clock. We'll be looking back at the first half here at Hillsborough between Sheffield Wednesday and Spurs within St John right after the break. Welcome back. We've just been speculating about possible man of the match here at Hillsborough this afternoon, but no goals, very difficult conditions. But first of all, Ian, let's get serious. What about that challenge in the first 5 minutes by Paul Stewart on Chris Turner?
Well, I thought both players were lucky, you know. I thought Chrissy Turner was very lucky because had his boot contacted his head, he would certainly have been in the hospital. And I think if Stewart had done that, he'd have been off. Now watch there, he came very, very late. And fortunately just caught him on the shoulder. So now, I think both players were a bit lucky there. I think the referee would have sent him off had he caught him on the head.
In the present climate as well, Ian, with the Vinnie Jones tackle the other week against Gary Stevens of Spurs, then I think Stewart lucky to stay on.
Well, I would, as I say, I think if the referee had seen him catch him on the head, you know, the goalkeeper gone off, I think the referee would have had no option but to send him off. But, you know, I don't think there was a lot of malice in it. But had he caught him with his studs flying in like that and caught him on the head, they'd have been minus a goalkeeper. And I think the referee would have to have said, I'm sorry, you know, Paul, you're having an early bath. But we haven't had an awful lot of goal-mouth incidents, have we? Although the conditions here, they're like we used to play in, because it's not often now you get a First Division ground that's got snow on it, because most of them have the undersoil heating. And I would think over here in Yorkshire, it's about time they had undersoil heating, because, I mean, it is difficult for the players playing some grass in the box in the centre circle and then running onto snow.
Well, one of the things I can't understand, Ian, is that they did have time to actually clear all the snow from the pitch, not just from the goal area and from the centre circle. I find that a bit mystifying.
Well, maybe the groundsman thought he didn't have time. I don't know, or maybe he thought if it was going to freeze, you know, that it would be maybe a bit hard on the wings because the sun doesn't get to this side. So I don't know. I mean, you'd have to talk to the groundsman after the match about that one.
By my count, one clear-cut chance in the match, falling to Sheffield Wednesday and young David Reed.
Well, both defences have been terrific, I thought, you know, both playing the same way. But this one here, you know, David Pleat was saying, if they could get the ball into the box, Tottenham could maybe be in trouble. You know, and Hodgson got wide on the flank, crossed the ball over there. Reeves comes in and just gets underneath it, knocked it over the top. So that was really about the only clear-cut chance they had. But as I say, both teams playing a similar way, and it's not a bad game. But we're just lacking, I think, you know, the little bit of excitement in the penalty area.
All right, Ian, well, the second half has just kicked off, only a couple of seconds, and obviously Chris Turner's all right, he's out there. Let's rejoin David Pleat and Brian Moore.
Yes, we're okay, but we are pretty cold up here. The picture you saw right at the start of our programme this afternoon, the hills away behind Hillsborough, the wind comes straight off there, straight into the commentary box, but let's hope there's plenty that's going to warm us up in the second half. I think it's an excellent point that Elton made about clearing the snow off the pitch. I think David Pleat also feels that if it had been cleared off, we would have had a terrific game. As it is, the players are always struggling here at the moment. Spurs in the yellow, 0-0 the score. Here's Gascoigne. Played on for Waddle. Oh, my goodness, Chris Turner was lucky there. It caught him on at least underneath the right arm, and skidded across the face of that goal behind for the corner. So a good opening break there by Tottenham at the start of this second half, as they now are just about to take the corner. And Turner a little lucky there. Gascoigne. Waddle again. Gascoigne just running it out of play, having a battle there with Worthington, and Worthington in his fury knocking the ball way down the pitch. It'll be a throw to Sheffield Wednesday. And I would have thought Terry Venables reasonably satisfied with the composure that Spurs have shown and the bright start they've shown into this second half.
Well, Waddle certainly went with some intent into the box to hit that fierce shot at Turner. And I was interested to see as the ball went skidded away for the corner, as Waddle went round to collect it, he made a gesture to the Spurs supporters as though to say, come on, get behind us, we can win this game.
Fairclough, Gascoigne, Johnson, Pearson, Madden. There's Mavitt for Tottenham. Sterland. This is David Reeves, with West waiting in the middle, and Hodgson on the far side, and Fairclough will shepherd this one away for Tottenham. Here's Madden. Wednesday's turn to put a bit of pressure on the visitors now. Sterland again. Branson. Reeves to Proctor. Deep cross to the far side. West is there waiting for it. Siggy Johnson also might get a shot in here. And in the end it took Finnick right at the last to get it away, and again for Tottenham. Stewart, and with Waddle, and flag have been up for an offside. Free kick to Tottenham.
Both teams seem to have pace. It often happens after half-time when they may have had a few words. But certainly Wednesday were very positive then getting into the box too.
Madden's header. As we're sitting comfortably at home in the warm, you might just like to contemplate also that in the 74 matches that these two sides have played, there have only been 3 goalless draws, and all of them were here at Hillsborough. And we stand 0-0 here at the moment. Back by Madden to Chris Turner. Rory Madden, a Londoner, played of course with Millwall and with Charlton. Fairclough's header. Moran's touch. Waddle. Mostly wrapped up, I'm glad to see, as Mavitt takes this throw. Gets it back to Vinnie Samways. Mavett again. Mitchell Thomas, stopped by Sterland. What a great one-club character he's been, Sterland. His testimonial year, of course, for Sheffield Wednesday, the popular number 2. Going in with that challenge there, but Mitchell Thomas gets away from him. Gascoigne. Moran's taken a good position on the far side. Gascoigne didn't spot him and really was hustled too much by Pearson and by Johnson. Proctor. Seems a little more movement at the start of this second half. It's Hodgson now. Tottenham throw. Mavett with it. Up the pace a little bit. Gascoigne. Samways to Stewart. Mavett to Thomas. Shove in the back on the Tottenham captain, a free kick. Quickly taken and found Chris Waddle. Stewart and Moran waiting in the middle for the right sort of cross. It's Turner's ball. Losing out to Hodgson. Reeves is on the far side. Oh, the mistake was Samways. Can Reeves get in behind them? It's a corner for Sheffield Wednesday. Lost his footing there a little bit, I imagine, Vinnie Samways. But for a moment it looked as though it had put David Reeves in, and the trouble is not yet over for Tottenham, as Mark Proctor will aim now to take this corner, to put pressure on Bobby Mims and the Spurs defence. Got up above them all, claiming offside, and the linesman agrees.
I think as the game progresses, it probably will open out even more, because it's very difficult to for defenders to change direction, and if they have a problem turning as the legs get tighter towards the end, then I'm sure it'll be exploited.
Had to blink twice to see that back pass by Paul Gascoigne. That had confidence in him and in Bobby Mims, whacking that back over the heads of the Wednesday attackers. Butters might come to Reeves. Butters got it away at the second attempt. Waddle taking it in his stride. Flick here for Mitchell Thomas. Stewart. Mitchell Thomas to hammer one home. No. Ranson gets it away. I've seen Spurs once or twice this season. Couldn't believe how bad they were in a game in the first half, at any rate, up at Newcastle right early on. And indeed how good they were against Manchester United in the first half hour of a game there, when they went into the lead with a goal by Chris Waddle, and they folded a bit after that. It seems so far not really been able to put a good, solid 90 minutes together. But that seems to be becoming more likely on this occasion. Thomas on the far side. Samways. He's tricked his man well. Trying to get the ball back to Stewart. Sheffield Wednesday are making a hash of getting this one away until Siggy Johnson makes the clearance. Fenwick. And again Fenwick. Good touch that time to Gascoigne. In goes Gascoigne again, trying to make things happen for Tottenham with Gascoigne. Stewart waiting in the middle! But it's disallowed. He's disallowed it for offside. The linesman on the far side, flag up, and the goal is ruled out. Wednesday so quick to take that free kick, so there could be no argument. Worthington playing it in. West goes up. And a goal kick. Boos from the Spurs fans behind that goal. Good work by Gascoigne. It's Moran, if anybody, who's in the offside position as Stewart comes in, and the flag already up.
It was just a slightly forward pass, wasn't it? But you could see the linesman's flag as Moran got into that position. It went up fairly quickly. Slightly unfortunate for Spurs. It was terrifically powerful play by Gascoigne going into the box.
And the value again of that camera on the 18-yard line showing quite clearly Paul Moran, then the man who was in the offside position. What a good move there by Chris Waddle. Fairclough. Moran again. Stopped that time by Hodgson. Worthington. Fairclough getting in a little bit of a twist, but a free kick already given to Sheffield Wednesday for the foul on their number 10, David Reeves. So it's a much better second half, and these cold Wednesday fans giving it all they've got as well. Free kick to Tottenham. Worthington's header. Fennick. This is Waddle. This is where you think things might well happen for Tottenham. Waddle certainly seems to be in the mood. Gascoigne too. Here's Samways. Abbott's gone off in a very strong forward position. Here's Chris Waddle again for Tottenham. Towards Mabbott, just wide. Took that well on the volley. Made for him by Chris Waddle. And he'd gone up almost unnoticed there. Just wide of the Wednesday goal. David Cleat.
Well, there's some good movement now between the Spurs players. Thomas is holding a left side position but moving around from there. Sterling's having to go with them, and they're destroying the balance of the Wednesday back line. Waddle's moving fairly free, Gascoigne is too, and so it's very difficult for him to be penned down.
But here's Hodgson now for Wednesday towards West, and now for Worthington, and across the face of the goal and behind as Reeves came flying in. Almost a goal for Spurs at one end, and very close to one for Wednesday at the other. Reeves, in fact, getting the touch but going wide. There was no flag up for offside. Good play by Worthington leading up to that. And a much relieved Tottenham goalkeeper Bobby Mims then with the goal kick. Gascoigne. Sterland. Worthington. A lot of movement up front now by Sheffield Wednesday. Here's the break by Hodgson. Got Reeves waiting in the middle, and away that time by Mitchell Thomas. Worthington's shot goes wide. It's a goal kick to Tottenham.
I think Wednesday too are moving forward now with a little bit more desire. You know, this 3 points business, 1 point is never enough. You'll feel you must go for all three. And I think that we're going to see a good final half hour here.
Wednesday 12th in the table. Spurs one off the bottom. Samways. Moran. Here's Waddle. As the ball picks out Moran. A lot of ground to get to this side of the field. Here's Samways. Abbott again had gone right forward for it. Might just leave a gap somewhere at the back though. Here's David Reeves. And Butters running into trouble. Foul on Hodgson and a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Nigel Pearson forward for this one. Big 6-footer from the back. Colin West, another 6-footer, and a name will go into the book. Can't see for the moment who it's going to be. Samways?
I think he said something, Brian. I can only suggest that.
He's a referee who's hot on dissent. He's got them back to the required distance now. As Worthington takes the free kick. Goal kick.
Once again, we saw that in-swinging ball. It's a goalkeeper's nightmare, and certainly Bobby Mims wasn't very happy.
Just over a quarter of an hour of the second half gone. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Spurs with a goal disallowed. Stewart. Samways. Moran. A free kick. Waddle behind this one. Mitchell Thomas and Nabbott forward. Stewart in there too. And Gascoigne. Aim towards Mabbott. Good leap there by him. Knocked away by Pearson. Helped on by Worthington. Fenwick getting in for Tottenham. Up goes Stewart with Cranston. Mabbott. Samways. Touched on by Stewart. Rory Madden there for Sheffield Wednesday. Reeves. Sterland. I think it's a foul, yes, a shove in the back on Terry Fenwick, which that is what the linesman was indicating, but the referee, I think, has overruled that and has given the goal kick. And the Tottenham disallowed goal again from another angle. Our camera on the far side of the ground, David Pleat.
Well, Gascoigne will certainly feel hard done by. Even then, it's a very close decision. They can consider themselves unfortunate, but at the time Gascoigne did play the ball, Moran was probably just in advance of him.
Gascoigne getting a bit of treatment as the game goes on. He's back on the field. Mims with the kick. Worthington, cross towards West, knocked down by him. Mabbott having trouble getting it away. Mitchell Thomas earning a little bit of breathing space there for the Tottenham defence. Madden now seeking to turn the screw again for Sheffield Wednesday. Samway's right across there on the far side, and now Moran. Plenty of work going into this Tottenham performance this afternoon. West, Reeves, in goes Proctor, and here's Bobby Mims.
Wednesday getting Worthington forward quite well this half. In the first half, he was brought in field to do more marking responsibilities and wasn't able to join in the attacks in a wide position. I was looking at the width. It's one of the widest grounds in the country, Wednesday, 75 yards wide, I believe, and the more you can make use of that, the better. And this half, Worthington's getting forward much better.
Fairclough forward for Tottenham. Madden meeting it with his head for Sheffield Wednesday. Waddle. Come out by Sterland. Sheffield fans love to see Mel Sterland getting forward. Corner given. Sterland's down. Really haven't played in a devastating corner or free kick yet of Wednesday, but now Worthington on the spot again. Pearson's up. And not a very good one again. Moran gets it away, hits the referee, gets it away on the second attempt. And Madden will guide it back safely to Chris Turner. Abbott's header, foul on him by West, a free kick to Tottenham. Substitution being made is David Hodgson, who's going off, and David Hurst, the young striker formerly with Barnsley, who comes on. Scorer of 3 goals this season. Still only 20 years old. Paid a lot of money for him, David, didn't they? I seem to remember a couple of years ago when they bought him from Barnsley.
Yeah, he's got 2 important qualities. It's power and pace, and he's left-footed as well. A very promising player, I believe, and I think that he might be more beneficial at the moment than Hodgson was.
Butters gets it away, though, for Tottenham. Madden delayed that too long. The crowd warned him of the arrival of the Tottenham player, Paul Moran. Fairclough. Not really getting it away. They claim a handball there on Samways, but it was clearly a case of accidental and the ball hitting the hand. And Paul Allen waiting to come on for Tottenham. It looks like it might be Gascoigne who comes off. Looked like the number 8 on the board there. It's Gascoigne a moment, playing it on the line there. Sterland still in play, a foul on fullback, and Gascoigne will come off, and Paul Allen comes on. Does that surprise you a little bit, David?
Well, I mean, we're not sure if Gascoigne might have a little bit of a strain or a little bit of a pull, but Paul Allen will ferret hard and work hard, and he's very sharp and quick.
In the meantime, it's David Reeves for Sheffield Wednesday. Out of play, goal kick. Halfway through the second half now, and still Sheffield Wednesday 0, Spurs 0.
Paul Allen's taken a position on the right side of midfield, and it might be just to curb Worthington's forwards to support the Wednesday attackers, so it might be a tactical switch.
It's Allen going for this one, but beaten by Johnson. Now Hurst. It'll be a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Linesman indicating there was a bit of a shove there from Paul Allen. Cranston. Abbott behind this one with a header. Here's Proctor. And Fenwick away. Proctor, who just played with Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest and Sunderland. And Peter Eustace saying he's really tightened down midfield up since he came here in the middle of last season. Another throw to Wendy. Again, it'll be a long one from Mill Sterland. And a lot of activity up there. First on the far post, West towards the near post. Sterland playing it in again. Almost got through to Hurst, in fact. Johnson shot charge down. Worthington playing it back for Laurie Madden, the only man who's staying back now for Wednesday. Up towards David Hurst. And over the top from Siggy Jonsson, and a goal kick to Tottenham. Siggy Jonsson, who's played at all levels for Iceland. and really now with a chance to establish himself in a midfield place with Sheffield Wednesday. So Bobby Mims with a goal kick for Tottenham. By Madden, unhappy with that decision. It gives the free kick to Tottenham. Guy Butters coming forward. Tall number 2. Mitchell Thomas in there, Mabbott again, Stewart also. Plenty of height now from Spurs in that Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. Waddle might be the man to deliver it. Sandways is across there too. It's Waddle hitting it, driving it really, and West getting behind it. Waddle, Fennick. Around on the far side, cut out by Worthington. Away goes West. Got Hurst on his left. Worthington outside him. It's with David Hurst though. Got a little mixed up right at the end. Mitchell Thomas for Tottenham. Stewart, well challenged by Cranston. Good play by him. Johnson kept his wits about him as well. And gets in there. Samways, Thomas. Waddle's throw for Tottenham. Really shoving the back there, spotted by referee Roger Milford. His last game here, incidentally, was that fabulous cup semi-final between Coventry City and Leeds United. Waddle then with the free kick. Stewart's poised. Moran's on the far side. Keeper's coming for it, didn't really get to it. Moran. Oh, a nice little drag back by him, and in the end it was Mel Sterland who got it away to Worthington on the far side. Good bits of skill there again by Moran. The header that almost found Paul Allen in a bit of space, but a lovely little drag back by Moran. Could so easily have opened up the way for Spurs. Mabbott. Saying earlier this week when results were going against them and everybody was shouting gloom and doom, he was saying don't panic, it's not as bad as that. He says equally, I'm not going to say we've turned a dangerous corner just because we've had 2 wins, but there are signs that there's a better performance about Spurs. As Mitchell Thomas almost played that into the path of Stewart and Moran. And Venables himself is the first to admit there's still a lot of work to be done. Well, there is here at the moment as Siggy Johnson takes it up for Sheffield Wednesday. A nice little battle there for Proctor. Hurst on the far side now for Wednesday. Reeves waiting in the middle along with West. And Mitchell Thomas gets there first for Tottenham. Mabbott. Spurs about to bring on David Howells. Good play here by Reeves. The cross comes in towards West, and good defending by Terry Fennick. Sheffield Wednesday's throw. Mitchell Thomas feeling that he was shoved in the back. They're going to take off Paul Moran, bring David Howes on, who would have good memories of Hillsbury. He made his debut here for Tottenham and scored the winner that day. That was back in 1986. Sterland, Cranston. West, twisting and turning, looking for a yard. Space was denied him by that determined Tottenham defence. But here's Cranston now for Sheffield Wednesday. Crucial moments these as we come to the last quarter of an hour of the game. Sterland playing it in, and Hurst, it came off his thigh. Let's have a quick word with Paul Gascoigne.
Paul Gascoigne, what was the problem?
Just early on in the week I got a nick on the kneecap, and you know, just be coming out of second half at about 23 minutes it started to hurt, and there's no way I could carry on really.
Bit unhappy to leave the fray at that stage, I would think.
That's right, you know, I think we're enjoying the game. I had quite a few attacks, and you know, I was just trying to see the goal that we made was offside, and I think we got a little bit too excited and got carried away.
Now Stewart. Kept out of it well though by Pearson. Confirming then Paul Gascoigne off. He had a little kneecap injury which began to flare up again. Fairclough. And again Fairclough, but beaten that time in the air by Hurst. And here's Worthington. And that goes into the cop behind Bobby Mimms' goal. Spurs substitutes, David Howes.
We were speaking about the snow being taken off the penalty areas in a perverse way. Had they left the snow on the penalty areas, I'm sure there would have been mistakes made that would have led to goals in today's game.
It's so much better if they could have taken a whole lot off though, David.
Yes, but I think the groundsman's always under instructions from the referee, and the referee thinks long and hard about it, and it's taken jointly. The lines are clear, it's just that it hasn't been able to suit particularly the passing players.
Fenwick with the free kick for Tottenham. Mitchell Thomas there, big man who just got the flick on, but David Reeves is back at the second attempt, got it away from Mabbott. Tottenham's throw though. And throw towards Thomas. Corner given. Wednesday appeared to be a little unhappy with that decision, but you have to say that Roger Milford couldn't have been closer to it. Right now, Butters is up at the near post. Mitchell Thomas, the 6-footer's there as well. Paul Stewart, naturally. Terry Fenwick has come up from the back. Mabbott's in there too. And the two substitutes, Howes and Allen, waiting now for Chris Waddle to deliver the decisive ball. But in the end, Sterling turns away, hammers it clear. But Fairclough's got all the time in the world. Plays the ball through again towards Paul Stewart. It was held up for a minute! An astonishing goal! And Spurs are in the lead. Well, Turner came herring out of his goal. Outside the box. It was followed up by Paul Stewart, and he'll claim that.
Well, we thought the goal, if it did come, would come from a mistake. It held up. Turner possibly mistimed it. And that's how goals are scored. They come from mistakes, but you must admire Stewart's perseverance there.
So, Paul Stewart. His third of the season, after that £1.7 million move from Manchester City. Name taken early on, but it's joy from now on if Spurs can hold on. Cranston playing it in though, and Mimms gathering it from West's header. Just about 10 minutes left. A bizarre goal on a bizarre pitch, but who knows, it might settle the whole match. Certainly brought a lot of pleasure to the Spurs fans. Third goal in his last 4 games. A good run by Paul Stewart as Spurs begin to look much more of a side.
It's strange also, Brian, that it came as a result of play after the corner was given, which the Sheffield Wednesday players didn't quite agree with, and the boy Reeves might have got the ball away in the first place anyway.
A free kick for Tottenham, Finnick with it. Owls looking to play the ball in again for Stewart. Ransom there this time, and it's a goal kick. Wednesday in their anxiety push forward, there are one or two little gaps beginning to appear there now, and they've very nearly exploited it again. Tottenham leading by a goal to 0. Free kick to Spurs. Well, it was a moment of great relief for Terry Venables. He's watching it now, and there's the moment, and it's in the net. Alan Harris is number 2. Looking much more delighted than Terry himself. Johnson stopped by Fairclough. A throw to Sheffield Wednesday. Eustace, the new Sheffield Wednesday manager. Excellent coach who's no doubt learned an awful lot under Howard Wilkinson the 5.5 years he was here with him. But now Stewart on the break again for Tottenham. Could make it safe for them. Paul Stewart! 2-0! That big fee is being paid off in large lumps now. Spurs seem to be en route for a 3rd successive win. One in the Littlewoods Cup, one in the league against Wimbledon, and now with Stewart hammering in that 2nd goal, it looks very much as though it could be another victory in the league for Tottenham.
He's got tremendous power, the boy, hasn't he? He looks as strong as a bull when he's in full flight, and I think now he's beginning to find his First Division legs.
And that was really good clinical finishing right at the end there, 1 against 1. Free kick to Wednesday. Spurs with a home game to come on Wednesday, of course, against Coventry. Sterling, though, with the free kick for Sheffield Wednesday here. Can Spurs get it away? It's Paul Allen after it. Hurst. Tottenham tackling has got Cresper as well. Goal kick. Towards the last 5 minutes now. And the goal seen from the other angle. Again, we see the power and the pace and the running of Paul Stewart. Shaking off Cranston is not an easy thing to do, but there, the real good clinical finishing there as Turner came towards him. 2 goals in the game for Paul Stewart, doubling his score for the season. West, there's Mabbutt. Hansen. Mabbutt battling away against the odds there. Still makes the clearance, it's Wednesday's throw. Sterling. Johnson. Oh, he might go through them all. In the end, it was Waddle who got back there to make the crucial back pass to Bobby Mims. And Paul Gascoigne with the mascot as well, Gazza. The smiles are returning all around Tottenham. David Howells for them. Samways has gone outside him. Laurie Madden. Fairclough. Waddle. Long breaking ball as Mitchell Thomas drives forward again. Played in for Stewart. No tacklers coming in from Wednesday. Roberts, get it back to Fenwick, we'll get it back to Mims.
The steam's certainly gone out to Wednesday at the moment. At the time Tottenham scored, they were going quite strongly, and all the fitness work they do here looked as though it was going to stand them in good stead. But that break of Stewart, which he was slightly fortunate with, and then the excellent second goal has really taken the sting out of Wednesday. And they now look losers.
Samways. Mitchell Thomas. Stewart again. That second goal of his, so reminiscent of the one he scored, the critical one against Blackburn Rovers, with that long driving run and the good finish at the end of it. Free kick to Tottenham. It in, Proctor getting it away. Samways taking it away from West, and back again to Bobby Mims. Thoughtful look there from Terry Venables, but the relief must be flooding through him at the moment. After the desperate start that Spurs had to this season. If it is to be 3 successive wins, that'll make so much difference. Spurs now less than 2 minutes away from their first away league win of the season. Challenge there by Fairclough. Corner given. Came off Fairclough. Can Wednesday mount something here? Proctor playing it in. Hurst is there with a header. In the end, Mitchell Thomas gets it away, but they were under extreme pressure there. Johnson playing it wide, goal kick. David Fleet, a former Tottenham manager, tell me what you feel. Is this the beginning of a new Spurs and a better Spurs? Do you see signs here today?
Right, it's very early days. They play quite fluidly. There's been a lot of interchange of players, and I think it's difficult sometimes for the opposition midfield players and defenders to pick them up when there is this interchange. But I think it's very early days. I thought that had it been a good pitch, I would have enjoyed the game certainly much more, and I think Spurs might have been seen in a better light. They got the break when it counted, and possibly they've had more goal opportunities than Wednesday during the 90 minutes. But it's very early days, and I'm sure Terry will be thinking to himself, he's got certain little pieces of the jigsaw, but he needs further things to happen to get it right.
Branson. Sterling again, looping it in. David Howells away to Paul Stewart, the hero of the moment, with those 2 goals for Tottenham. But here's Siggy Johnson for Sheffield Wednesday, stopped that time by Butters. stood up well to his job at the centre of the defence for Spurs today. Cranston playing it in again. There's Fairclough for Tottenham. Chancing his arm forward now to Allen. Stewart against Pearson. That'll be a corner. Again, the referee has overruled the linesman. It'll be a free kick. Wednesday with some good results recently. Some ways, is he running himself into trouble? He is. West, the shot straight at Bobby Mims. And he's getting quite a mouthful there from Terry Finnick. Not the cleverest thing to do, even though you've got a cushion of 2 goals near the end. And the final whistle. And great relief for Terry Venables and his Tottenham side. With those 2 goals here today, both by Paul Stewart. At last an away win in the league for Tottenham. 2 successive league wins, in fact. A sequence that's going to do wonders for their confidence. And indeed, they played with a lot of composure right through this game. And put a lot of work into it as well. The 2 goals then by Paul Stewart after 79 minutes. So, strange one that. But an authentic, driving run and shot for the other one 3 minutes later. So the final score then, it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Thanks, Brian. I should think a hot toddy is the order of the day for you and David at the moment. The man of the match, of course, gets a bottle of champagne. I wonder who it'll be. Find out after the break. Spurs' first away win, and they didn't even want to play at the start. Ian, man of the match.
Well, I thought Terry Finnick was terrific at the back, marshalled his men. Waddle in midfield, great. But if you score 2 goals and don't get the champagne, you have to be annoyed. So it's Paul Stewart.
All right, Paul Stewart is now with Jim Rosenthal and the Spurs manager, Terry Venables.
Thank you very much indeed, Elton. Well, Paul, there's the £250 cheque for Help the Aged, the charity that Spurs have chosen, and the bubbly as well. And you've had 1 or 2 unkind things said about you this season. I would think your performance here today might have made up for that.
Well, I took a lot of stick this season. It's nice to score 2 goals on telly and probably shut a few people up. I mean, there's still a long way to go. 2 goals doesn't make a season, but it's a start.
Let's move across to the manager here, Terry. I know before the match, and you didn't want to make a song and dance about it, you weren't happy with the conditions. After the result, are you still a bit unhappy with the way that the pitch was for you to play on?
Well, it was just so perfect, the pitch, that obviously we were unhappy it couldn't have got cleared. We just felt it could have got cleared. They'd done what they did do, the centre circle and the area by 12:15. But, you know, in the end of the day, as I said to you, there's no point in complaining, just got to get on with it.
I think we're going to take a look at the goals now, and you, Paul, would obviously be absolutely delighted to see the first one go in, because it was nip and tuck, wasn't it, before then?
That's right, yeah. I seen the ball going through, I seen the keeper coming out, I just thought, I'll get my foot there. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice to see that going.
A stroke of fortune about that one, perhaps, but no doubting the one.
Yeah.
And that's 2-0, and you're happy enough to see it without saying too much about it. Terry, just a word about Spurs. It's all about confidence, isn't it? And the confidence really seeping back now.
That's right. I think that these things become habits. When you're losing games, people feel you never lose again. When you're winning a lot of games, when you've got it right, you feel you're not going to lose. And hopefully, we've done better. That's all I'm going to say at this moment.
OK, that's all I want you to say. Okay. Let's go back to Elton.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Terry. Spurs out of the bottom 3. Quick one from you, Ian.
Well, I hope Spurs are on their way back. I quite enjoyed the way they played today. I thought they didn't do badly.
All right, well, that's all from Hillsborough this afternoon, but we do have another match. That's next Sunday. We're up to Geordieland to see Newcastle United, who are languishing near the bottom of the First Division, and Manchester United. But we saw Spurs win for the first time away from home here this afternoon. 2-0, both goals to Paul Stewart. Bye-bye.
3 defenders, lost a shin pad, but found his target like Eric Bristow going for double top. However, the Red Suicide Squad stepped in and Colin West was allowed to equalise 2 minutes later. United, with more draws than MFI, were booed off the field. Well, Spurs made a curious bit of history against Coventry. They'd already been penalised 2 points for postponing this match in August. Paul Stewart seemed to have made amends with his 3rd goal in 2 games. Spurs 1 up after 10 minutes. And the other Paul, Gascoigne, looking a snip at 2 million, if that's possible. But the ghost of Wembley returned. Keith Huchin clipped home Coventry's equaliser, and Spurs have become the first club in league history to surrender 4 points from a First Division fixture. Who can beat that? So Coventry leapfrog over Derby to 6th place, and Tottenham remain 4th from bottom. Manchester United and Sheffield Wednesday both becalmed in mid-table. Well, now the FA Cup first round replays. Fareham 2, Torquay 3. The non-leaguers had equalised twice. Leyton Orient 2, Enfield 2. Ian Jurieff had scored twice in the first 7 minutes for Orient. Peterborough 1, Gillingham 0. Well, the big news from the baseball ground is that Saunders is only human after all. Derby's £1 million match